In New York and Los Angeles, there's a very unusual party called the Food Dinner Experience. Like, the name doesn't tell you much, doesn't sound strange, but apparently at these events, strangers get together and eat, drink, and chat while completely naked. I don't really get it, but I don't begrudge anyone else who's into this. We'll tell you how attendees describe the parties in just a bit. But first, some more details on this unusual gathering and how it came to be. So the Food Dinner Experience is the brainchild of Charlie and Max, an artist and model. Because obviously, I mean, what kind of people are like, I can't wait to be naked? Likely models. Now, Max says that the idea first came to her when she and her friends decided on a whim, just on a whim, to hang out naked in their apartment in 2014. I mean, who doesn't do that on a whim? She told the New York Times, quote, "It felt so good to be like, whatever, I'm hanging out with my best friends in my rawest form with my body. And this is not as scary or weird as I would expect. It just felt so free." Ever since then, Max gets nude whenever possible. Let me just remind you, Max is in fact a model. Max started experimenting more with nudity, going topless to certain bars. What? Having parties and greeting guests naked. Now, she says, she is naked whenever possible. This is a lifestyle I live on and offline, she said, during events and after everyone goes home. So Max claims that her naked dinners, which she started in 2020, always sell out, and that women around the world ask her to host naked dinners in their city. For now, though, the dinners are mainly in Los Angeles and New York. I've got a lot more details to get to, including some testimonials from individuals who have attended such dinner parties. But I want to jump to you first, Waz. Considering this is a New Yorker and how this all started in New York, do you have any insight into this culture? Is this something that, you have any further details on?
Yeah, this kind of reeks of that new Brooklyn crowd that appeared in New York City around 05, 06, 07, and essentially a bunch of people who sort of got priced out of Manhattan, and it was just like, well, Brooklyn's actually kind of cool, and they populated areas like Williamsburg and Greenpoint and Fort Greene and Clinton Hill, and people who have been to Bushwick is a freaking rest haven for this new Brooklyn set, where you would go to like restaurants and like the cups or the cookware was like unconventional. You'd be drinking out of a bottle cap or something weird like that. Jesus. Like this is of that cohort. It's very obvious with these people. I'll give you an example, Anna, one time, because back in 2012, I was dating a woman who lived in Williamsburg, and we went to this brunch spot. And we sat and ate brunch. We were probably there for an hour. And the couple next to us sat head to head like this, their foreheads touching each other and their palms on top of each other. They sat like that for an hour straight.
Hot.
This was them, I don't know, connecting. I don't know, this new agey, sort of bohemian crap. This is all of that cohort. These are not people who have ever been purse snatched on the J train in 1993. If you feel what I'm saying, this is all new Brooklyn crapola. So I'm not surprised by any of this. I promise you.
I just don't get why this has to be a thing. It's just, anyway, what I mean by that is I'm not against it. I just don't know why it has to be like a branded thing. I guess it's because we live in America where everything needs to be a branded thing. But
everything needs to be branded, Anna, but it's part of everybody. Since I did it, we're progressing the self. Like this is, I'm moving past the norms of society. The norms of society.
Some of the norms of society make sense. Like look.
Some of them, yes.
I have like no
not
problem.
Having your nuts out at a house party makes sense.
Yeah,
yes,
like
I agree.
Listen. I have no problem with women going topless at a beach, right? I have no problem with women breastfeeding in public. But I gotta be honest with you, I don't wanna go to bars and see like everywhere, like literal bare naked everywhere, right? Like I have them, I love them, I think they're beautiful, but there's a time and a place. You get what I'm saying? Same with men. I don't want to see a bunch of shirtless. Well, I don't. Depends. All right. Anyway, moving on. No, but
horn dog and
I know. No, but in all seriousness, I don't want to see topless men or women at a bar, right? Like again, time and place. With this, it's in a private setting. And so if this is what they're into, great, go for it. The diners, by the way, also, the dinners also feature activities like yoga, arts and crafts, writing, and cooking classes. Everything's great. Okay, you want to see a bunch of people do yoga naked? Fun. It sounds like there might be some other stuff going on. I'm speculating. There's no reporting on that, but it seems like there's more than just dinner happening here. People come to these dinners for many different reasons, by the way, so let's get to some of the testimonials. Rosalina Villanueva, who's 41, said that she wanted to connect with her body, which changed after she gave birth to her first child last year. And look, if these dinners help with that, great, great. I just like to get to know my body when I'm not in front of strangers, but that's just me. Other people are different. Stephanie, 35, said that she had just come back from doing cacao, tobacco, and temazcal ceremonies in Nicaragua. Do I really need to read more of this? Like that's the perfect demo for these dinners, okay? But anyway, and wanted to keep that energy going. I think nudity allows us to connect in a different way, she said. To strip, let's read the rest of that. To strip away what the patriarchy has put on us. Like,
ding, 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 drink at home, folks.
Like uber sexuality or hypersexuality. And each dinner does have a theme. So for the last dinner in New York, the theme was embracing your inner rhythms for individuals to connect with their menstrual cycles. After an hour of mindful movement and breath work, the women squeezed around a dining table covered in silk, dried flowers, and butt-shaped water glasses, because obviously, and discussed their periods. Only one attendee was menstruating at the event, which everyone agreed was pretty remarkable. Cool. Cool. I don't have strong feelings about this story other than cool. I mean, if you're into it, awesome. Just
everyone agreed it was pretty remarkable. Because of course, everybody knows, Anna, you get a room full of women together, one of them is bound to be on their period. Everybody knows that. This is insanity. It's literally insanity. And again, sometimes I try to tell people, I'm like, yo, man, right wingers, sometimes they are right about the left or progressives or like, they're not always wrong.
No, they're not.
Some of this stuff borders on lunacy.
Yeah. No, but by the way, I don't necessarily see it as lunacy. I see it as something that's not for me. It's for other people, but like, namely people who seem to be pretty well off, and like this is what they do with their free time, right? Because I don't need to go to an overpriced dinner, and it is pricey. Like women, they don't have to go through the obstacles that men have to go through to get to these dinners. So women pay $88 to go to the dinner, right? And men can only go if they've been referred by a woman who has been attending the dinners. So it's harder for guys to get in, which I think, given the nature of this whole thing, makes a lot of sense. You want people to feel safe and comfortable being nude like that. But the one thing I will say is, the only experience I've ever had in life where everyone's nude, you have to be nude, you can't even wear a bathing suit, is in the context of Korean spas, in the women's locker room in Korean spas. And it's kind of incredible how quickly you're desensitized to nudity once everyone around you is naked, right? So you start feeling, I guess, less I don't know if shame's the right word, but yeah, to some extent you start feeling less ashamed about certain features of your body that you otherwise are like pretty insecure about. So I do think that there's something to this. I like it in the context of an all-female environment. These people are comfortable doing it in a co-ed environment, and all the power to them. But the one serious point that I will make about this, if you're struggling day to day and your economic situation is unstable, last thing you're thinking about is exploring your body with a bunch of other strangers. Right?
Everybody knows this is some bougie crap. Everybody knows this. Normal people ain't doing this nonsense. And to your point about nudity is whatever. I remember my first nude beach. It was in Barcelona, Spain.
Me too.
I remember being blown away at Barceloneta. Yeah, that's right, y'all. I pronounced Barcelona that way. I did. I did the douchey Barcelona pronunciation.
You're a man with culture. What can we say? What can we say?
I remember seeing a bunch of topless women. I was like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. And then I caught a glimpse of an older gentleman and his droopy ass nutsack. And I was like, this is the trade-off. This is
the trade-off. No, but you know,
this is the trade-off.
What was amazing
the yin
to
and the
me,
yang, if you will.
What was amazing to me about going to that beach, same beach, and experiencing that was no one cared, right? Maybe no one cared. Like no one was making the women feel uncomfortable because they were topless. No one was staring at you. Like it was just everyone at that beach was desensitized to nudity. And it happens so quickly once you're exposed to that kind of environment. And I think that's an interesting thing to bring up in the context of all of this. But hey, a bunch of rich people want to get together, or well-to-do people, I don't know if they're all rich, want to get together while naked to have a fancy dinner. Do you, booze? I'm all for it. Don't necessarily need a write-up about it in the New York Times, but nonetheless, this is it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.